God, I keep coming out of the freaking camera. Anyhow, so what are we gonna do today? I actually wanted to take a sidestep and not do Unity. Well, partially. We'll do Unity. But I think what we want to do is get our own assets in. So, for example, our character. So, if we were to make a character in Flash, even animate it, and then bring it over to Unity, how do we do that? That's a very good question, right? And that is what we're going to answer today, hopefully. Now, I'm not going to go into crazy detail because I don't want the tutorial to be really long. But we'll design a character in Flash. I'm going to kind of wing it. You can get creative with it and make your own character, and that's fine. But and then we'll do a very small animation, even like just 3 frames of him walking, which is not going to be as smooth, but it'll get the concept across. And once we do that, you can, you guys can basically make it as detailed as you want. So I'm just going to get the how the process works shown, and then we can go from there. All right. So in Flash, this is Flash, not Unity. So in Flash, we're going to open ActionScript 3. We have a great plane, so we just need to design some sort of character. So again, I'm completely going to wing it here and just make some sort of character that we can use. So let's see how that goes. Again, you guys can completely make your own characters, which is completely fine, or you can follow along. That is fine as well. So I just made a box, made the stroke of it a little bit longer or thicker. Boxy character, why not? And then what I'm going to do is hold control and then pull down these little notches, 2 of them, and then 2 from here back to here. So what I'm trying to do is create a little body. So try to make it, keep it symmetrical, because our character, remember, he flips. So when he flips, we have to keep it proportionate. So that's something to be mindful of. Or we can have him facing one way, so when he flips, it's facing the other way. But remember, center has to be the right place. So what we'll do is kind of do this, and then give him a little belly. So if and I'm not going to do the eyes here, because maybe for later episodes we'll do the eyes, because we'd want the eye to be blinking. But because if I add the eye right now, to blink it later, would have to come back and re-export this. So it's better to just not add the eye, or maybe we'll add it. See, I'm wasting too much time on here. Anyhow, okay, fine. We'll add an eye. So I created a new layer just because I don't want to intervene with the body. And we'll create this little circle. Okay, white and black. Put it right there. And then let's just draw another circle with the black. And draw inside of it. And boom. We got an eye. Cool. Okay, so anyhow, the main part is the legs and the hands, because that's what we have to animate one way or another. Actually, what I'm going to do here, double click this whole layer with this and just make it into a symbol. So F8 and convert it into a symbol. Call it I. Okay, because I don't want to interfere. And I'm going to Control X that and bring it back to the first layer. Right click, paste in place. That way we have it on the same layer. Because I will convert all this into a movie clip, because that's how you export the animations. So we've got this. Let's give him some legs. So just select some lines on the same layer. We're gonna draw these little feet. Now we want there to be 3 frames, right? I want it to be animated. Actually, we can even do it with 2 frames. It's gonna be really choppy, but it'll be like, why not? So that's what we're gonna do. We'll do 2 frames. Why not? It'll save time and it'll get the concept still across. So we'll draw some feet. Our fantastic feet over here. We can even just draw one box, honestly. So just delete these lines real quick. 1 line's plenty, and draw another line from here, connect it, and then draw one from middle. There we go. I mean, how can you get better than this? Let's just give him a different color. You can pick anything here. I'm just gonna give him some blue jeans or something. Okay, and then why not? Let's give him a belt as well. So another line over here for the belt, and we'll color it a little bit less black. And then go back to gradient. There, he's got a belt and a belly. Okay. What else? We need to give him arms. So let's give him arms. So let's just draw. How are we gonna do arms? Let's see. Honestly, arms we can just do like sticks. Why not? So one arm's right there, straight down maybe even, and the other arm would be behind it so you don't see it. I do want to change the color of the shirt, so let's give him a collar here. So something like that with a line, and then select the bucket, Select a color for your shirt. Is that too blue? He's too blue, isn't he? Let's go with maybe green. Green and blue. Green and, well, black. Yeah, why not? Let's do black. Or not that dark, maybe. Something slightly less. There we go. So now he's kind of cool and hippity hoppity. Although I just realized you wouldn't see both of the legs, so let's just delete and make it into one leg. His gigantic one leg. Delete this line, bring this over, and then let's just draw one line from here to here. And then delete this section. There we go. I know. What, he's fat. But maybe we can even pull this back a little bit, and there we go. Now he's not as fat as he was before. Still, I think he's really fat. But let's pull that in, bring that up. There we go. Questionable. This line is way too high. I'm going to delete this line. And then delete this color. Click the eyedrop thing over here. Click green. Fill it up all the way. Honestly, I think we can even delete this line and just drag it in again. There. Much better. Now we can draw him the belt. So just draw another line over here. Select, maybe we'll do a different color, like blue this time. Gradient. And it's not letting me fill it in because this circle is gap. So let's increase the gap. Still doesn't want to do it. You know what? I'm not going to spend time on it. Let's move on. So if we have a guy, let's move him. So what we're going to do is select all of them and then press F8. And we're going to go into movie clips. And here we are going to call him player. It doesn't really matter. Make sure it is a movie clip though. Once that's gone, we're going to go inside of it and we're going to give him one more frame. Because remember, it's going to be really choppy animations. But we'll give him, what we can here with the time. So let's move him. What we're going to do is insert a frame. So right click on the second frame and click insert keyframe. So this is what he's going to look like when he's moving. So what we'll do is kind of move his hand like here, make it shorter, create another line and make it like that. Ooh, we don't want it to be blue. Let's go back to black. Line, kind of like that. Again, it's going to look really strange, but the point will go across. So for the legs, what we'll do is just take this and move this back, and then hold control and make these little points. Same thing with here, hold control, points. So there we go. Let's move it back more because this is going to be his most extended leg. So the back leg, then we're going to click line and just draw his other foot. So maybe like this. We'll draw his other foot and then just click the eyedrop again, select over here and paint it over there. It looks like he's for me. Now we could fill in the middle frames, but we'd have to draw them, and I don't want this tutorial to be too long, which I feel like it's already gonna be. So let's continue. We got 2 frames. We can do like that. You can see, so it's gonna look kind of like that, which is honestly fine, right? So we got 2 frames in a movie clip. If we double click in the white areas, we can get out of the movie clip and we'll be outside of it. Honestly, if we do control enter right now, you'll see him kind of go like he's running like crazy, which is fine. So we're gonna do control L for the library, and over here we'll see the player as the movie clip. We'll right click it and we'll click generate sprite sheet. So this is how you bring it over to Unity, and that's what we're gonna do right now. So let's click generate sprite sheets. This beautiful little window will pop up, and then all we have to do is just name it. Okay, so I'm gonna name it walk cycle. Okay, and then put it wherever you guys want to do it. Honestly, I think I'm gonna put it right into Unity. So let's browse it. Now, wherever you have the Unity folder, you don't have to do this because you can drag it in, but I'll do it directly. So I'm gonna, my project is saved, my Unity project is saved in Documents, Unity, Action Platformer, and then inside, once you get here, wherever yours is saved, we're gonna go into Assets, and then let's create a new folder in here. So we'll right click here, New Folder, and we'll call it Sprite Sheets. Press Enter. We have walk cycle, PNG is fine. We'll save it, and then we'll click Export. So it looks like nothing happened, but if we go back to Unity, you'll see a load. We got our folder that we created, We can double click this folder and we'll see walk cycle. I don't know what that is. I'm going to delete it. So we got this walk cycle of these 2 frames. Now, if you didn't want to go through the whole save thing, wherever you save, wherever you have that PNG file, all you have to do is go into that place wherever you saved it. So for example, for me, it's in Unity, wherever it is. So wherever you save the file, just drag it into it, and like assets over here, and it'll show up. Okay. So what are we going to do to make it into an animation? That's actually very easy. All we have to do is click walk cycle, go into texture type, we'll go into sprite 2D, and then we'll say sprite mode is going to be multiple. Once those 2 things are set, we're going to click sprite editor, apply. So we got these 2. Oh, I should have turned their resolution higher, so low. If that's a problem, we'll go back and fix it, but for now it's fine. Once we're in the slice sprite editor, we're going to click slice, and then make sure this is automatic, and we'll click slice. So what this will do is take each of these pictures and divide them into different pictures so they're different frames for the animation. Once it's sliced, you'll see these very light white lines. Don't click it again. Once that is done, you should be fine. You can just close this or click away. Make sure you see those little lines right there. I don't know if you can see them on the recording, but they're there. So it splits the picture in half, or in how many frames you have. We'll click apply. Ignore this. Once that is clicked apply, it'll go gray. We can close out of this, and you'll see an arrow pop up here, and we'll see both of the pictures being separated, and we got our little animation. Now to make it into an animation, all we have to do is drag this player in, and it'll prompt this file, say where do you want to save the animation, because it knows there's multiple frames in there, so it wants to save it somewhere. We will save it in so again, make sure you're in the Unity folder in your project, in assets. We'll actually go back to assets where we had the sprite sheets folder, right click, new, and we'll create an animations folder. We'll create that folder, press enter, and then name this animation walk cycle. Press enter, and voila. Now I do realize the resolution on this is so low, but that's fine. So now if you look in here and you press play, let's see what happens. There you go. He's running like an idiot, but he's running. And oh my god, my enemies are still there. I'm going to delete my portals here. One of them at least. And increase the time to this to like, I don't know, 5 seconds. Okay. So back in our player. Now what we need to do, I want to see how bad the resolution is. It's not too bad. We can increase him. So let's go into scale and make it 2, 2, and 2. Or maybe that's too big, but whatever. Now that we have this, what we're going to do is we need to transfer over our scripts from our player that we have with this bazooka and bring it over to this player. That's fairly easy. All we have to do is we'll go into player. What else do we have in a bazooka? So one thing we can do is just drag this bazooka off into this walk cycle thing that's created. And then click this previous player and name it something else like old. And here we'll call it player. Let's make sure there's no tags on it. There are tags, so let's bring those over as well. Player, we'll do player, and we'll do player. Okay, apply to children, yes. So now these are both same. What else did we have in here? We had a player script, so let's click this gear, copy component, go over here, click any of these gears, and paste component as new. Okay, it'll bring over the values. Same thing for here. The rigid body and the box collider. So let's do the rigid body first. Copy component, and over here we'll paste it as new component. Okay, so there's our rigid body. Now the last thing we need to bring over is the box collider, which I think I'm just gonna make it instead of bringing it over. Make sure it's 2D. Let's see if it did the values right. It did. Perfectly squared. That's why I made him square, because it's easier to do boxes rather than like, circles. Okay, so we have that. Is there anything I'm missing? I don't think so. Let's reposition this bazooka. So just click the bazooka, and in the position we'll do 0 and then 0, or wherever you want to place it. So let's place it like right there. Technically one of his hands should have been holding it. I didn't think of that. If you can't think of that, go for it. Okay, so we have this bazooka on his left shoulder. I think everything should be good. I think we can even delete this old player. But for now, I'm going to disable it. So just check this mark over here and press enter. Let's see what happens. There you go. Oh my god. Okay, so first thing first, let's lock his rotation. I don't want him to fall down like that. So we'll go into our, not old player, new player. We'll do player and constraints, and we'll do freeze rotation. Because we do not want it to flip over like that. So let's see. Press play. Okay, at least he's not doing crazy things anymore. He is still being squished. And that's a pretty easy fix. I do remember what happened there. So if you recall, when we were making the player, we had it changes X scale whenever we press left and right, depending on if we're going left or if we're going right. So we need to fix that scale back to whatever this is. I think it was 1, so it's changing it back to 1. But just double click the player script and let's see what's happening. Once it opens, oh, it's 16 minutes. Not bad, right? Not bad. Okay, hopefully you guys can follow along. Otherwise, questions away. So once this loads, make sure you're in player script. You know, I don't know why this keeps popping up. I'm just gonna X out of these. All right, player script, where we are gonna go down to right here. You can see this player scale. So here we could have actually stored our scale and then use that, so we don't have to keep doing this. In fact, that is what we're gonna do. What we're gonna do here is we don't have original scale. Okay, good. So we'll create a private, and we'll create float. We'll do original X scale. Okay. In the start function, we'll do original X scale equals let's do transform dot scale local scale dot X. Okay, I think that's the one that we're changing. Player scale. What is player scale? Yeah, local scale. It's the same thing. Okay, that is fine. So now that we have this X value stored in the start function, what we'll do is go down to this change directions, and instead of putting 1 here, we're going to put in original, and then here instead of -1, we'll put original but a negative, so negative of the original. I hope that works. Not entirely sure if that's going to work, but let's save it, back out, click play, and see what happens, because that is the best way to test. Come on. Gary needs a new pair of shoes. Alright. There we go. Fix it. Now he is always running, which is ridiculous. Nah! And I can't jump for some reason. I'm going to zoom out my camera real quick. So let's go to camera. And then we'll do size to 10. Okay. He is gigantic, by the way. Let's see. Click play. Why can I not jump? And we're back. So, I figured out the reason for it. It's kind of silly. So the ray that is checking for the ground is actually firing from the center, or wherever this little axis shows up, which happens to be here. And the length that we gave it wasn't long enough. So it was firing, but it was only getting up till here, and it wasn't making it. So after a few testing, it ended up being 3 is, if you're going with this scale, 3 is the right value. If you have a different scale, you might have to test this value right here for the raycast in fixed update for the player script. You can see how far the ray goes down. Now there is a way to shoot it from the ground, and honestly we should have done that, but I don't want to, you know, maybe we'll cover it in a different video where we're optimizing things and stuff like that. But for now, just putting that value to 3 makes it work. And I think I'm going to also stop the video here because probably really long by now, and we did a lot in this video, and we'll go back and fix things. I know he's always running right now, which we'll get to later, because for that we have to go into animators, and we'll deal with that sometime. But for now, let him run. I think he likes it. It's good exercise. I mean, look at him. So until next time, where we will, I know I was supposed to do particles, but we'll do that. But until next time, peace.